So you want to see what Camber looks like for real out in the field compared to the building information model? Here I've got a point cloud scan underneath this beam, and you can see the temperature variance. Basically, the green shows closer to the building information model, and then the red actually shows it dipping down a little bit towards the end. So the point cloud actually here is a little bit different elevation than what the building information model is. So you can see kind of how it starts to drop down the bottom flange here. But watch as I start to move over here a little bit towards the middle. Notice that the scan has the bottom flange of the beam closer to the actual model. So where it's red, it's farther away. Where it's green, it's closer. And that gives you a good view of how camber appears relative to the original just flat building information model. Pretty interesting. All right, so then I also decided to take a look at this wall, and you can see a pretty significant difference here as well. When I look at the variance on 1 inch, and so if you see, it means that I'm 1 inch out compared to the actual placement of the 3D building information model. And so I was just curious how this was going to end up with this beam coming into the wall. And it's interesting how the scan actually stops. That looks like almost a good 1 inch short. So it's interesting, even though long slots or something may have been put in here, it looks like the actual face of that clip might be a little bit different than as it was detailed. And they may have cut the beam back a little bit to clear what's going on here. I mean, you can actually see the shift in the pour for this side of the wall compared to the rest of the face here. So it's pretty interesting how, when you actually see as-built conditions from point clouds overlaid in the 3D model, you just start seeing things a little bit differently. Like, so then I came over here to see how does it look on the other side of the beam. And then I started looking at this and I'm like, okay, I wonder how much the shift over might be, because these stiffeners look like where there's scan spots on stiffeners from the laser scan. And I mean, that looks like that's a good 1/2 inch or more off there. And then here you can even see this plate here looks almost 1 inch off, if that's the cap plate from the scan. So I mean, this is the kind of stuff that like I start looking for. I mean, the column is also shifted over, so I'm not sure if that's over the entire height, but this is the sort of stuff you look for. And what's great when you actually have the scans overlaid with the 3D model.